I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day they get on my grind. Got me singing, oh, oh, oh. Effort, I'm built for pioneering. Oh, oh, oh. Effort, I'm built for pioneering. I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day they get on my grind. Got me singing, oh, oh, oh. Effort, I'm built for pioneering. Oh, oh, oh. Effort, I'm built for pioneering.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Between the Lines presented to you by Live Wire Sports. Tonight on our show, our very special guest is Miss Sacha Gumbs. Sacha, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well tonight. You know, it's a end of the workday and just, relaxing and cooling off. As you can see, I'm in the office, so it's a better setting coming about.
So no, those songs some really, really long work hours. If you're still at work at it's 7 p.m. here locally, that's very
Actually, it's kind of better to do it at the office because we have a backup generator. So just in case,
yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
All right, so we're gonna jump into our interview here now. Are you excited to be on Between the Lines?
I actually am. I'm very happy that you guys actually formed this platform for young athletes and to showcase them. It's back then we didn't have, this type of platform to actually showcase our talent. But it's real nice that what you guys are doing for the VI athletes.
And we trying our best just to do our part in the sporting community, and it's receiving positive responses. So we continue to do what we're doing. It was just a passion of our president, and it has grown upon all of us, and it's growing in the community now. So we love where it's going. People love where it's going. So we just try to continue moving forward every day.
You're doing an excellent job. Commend you guys.
Thank you very much. All right, let's jump right into Sacha. Now, where are you
from? Here, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, born and raised.
Now, born and raised, there's a certain VI pride people get when they say they're from the Virgin Islands. Like everybody that hears that you're from the Virgin Islands, like, oh, you're from the islands. It's so great down there. What is it like to hear how people feel about your island?
Well, you mean in terms of actually when I went off to college and, there's like, oh, wow, you're from the islands. I want to know everything about you, that type of situation?
Yes.
Or just from I'm from the islands and that's it? Definitely, when I went to college and started playing my collegiate sports there, once they heard they're from the Virgin Islands and they hear the accent, oh my gosh, they gravitate towards you like, I want to know more about your home. Mm-hmm. Can I visit? I actually had colleagues come and visit down during spring break and they loved it. So it's definitely like a nice feeling to know that you're bringing a VI to the States and representing, because you don't have many players coming from the Virgin Islands and actually playing on a D1, D2 level, for sports.
So now let's jump into your sports career. Now, what was the first sport that you played, or what sports did you play altogether, actually?
Actually, I might be wrong, but a lot of people know me in terms of volleyball. But what a lot of VI society doesn't know is that tennis is actually my first sport. I started off with tennis. It's actually the #1 junior in the Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico. And I played tennis throughout my whole career. I only picked up volleyball because, on my off season from tennis, I was like, let me try next sport. And that's how I came about in volleyball. So tennis actually is my first love when it comes to sports.
Now, sometimes your first love isn't the sport that you are the best in. I learned that the hard way.
Correct.
But what sport do you feel that you were better in?
Um, I was really good at tennis, so uh, I guess if we're looking towards my junior years, yes, I was really good. Volleyball, I had to work extra hard, but it came a little easier just because of in terms of mechanics and everything from tennis to transitioning to volleyball. But I can honestly say I love playing volleyball in college than tennis.
Mm. Now,
Yeah.
I can kind of agree with you on that because I can't play tennis. I could probably handle volleyball, but
You should
tennis,
try it. You should try it. It's
you
very
know,
challenging. You should try it.
interesting fact. I actually was the team manager for a collegiate D1 tennis team, and I tried,
Mhm.
and that's how I know I can't play tennis.
It's much more harder than people think. It's like you go into the court and it's an individual sport. And growing up playing this individual sport is like it's just you. You don't have a team, you don't have teammates to like back you up, and it could be a challenging mental game, and I played my first year at University of Houston for tennis, and unfortunately I end up with my first knee surgery, and honestly, my heart just wasn't in it anymore. So when I transitioned to volleyball, like those were my best years of college, just playing collegiate volleyball. So
All right, so let's rewind back a little bit now. Where did you go to junior high? And did you play on a sports team in junior high?
yeah, I went to Adelita Cancrine. That's when I was actually introduced to volleyball, but didn't take it serious. I said everything was all tennis because I was traveling like almost every month because at that time, um, Virgin Islanders had to travel to Puerto Rico in order to get sanctioned to play in tournaments in the States.
Wow.
So we had to get ranking in Puerto Rico in order to get accepted in big tournaments in the States. We couldn't just travel. We just couldn't represent from the Virgin Islands and play in Florida or California or anything like that. No. So that was my main thing growing up on during junior high. Everything was tennis.
So, would you being on travel teams and travel clubs for tennis? Where are some of the places that you have traveled in the world?
Um, I say Mexico, Aruba, Curacao, Santo Domingo, California, Florida. Yeah, I'm probably missing a Trinidad. I went to Trinidad. I say I'm probably missing a couple more, but to me, my greatest accomplishment was in my senior year. I was chosen to go to Greece for the 2004 Olympics, where they choose two athletes from each country to actually go and experience it. So we stayed in like an Olympic village with all the other athletes from around the world, and I actually got to go to the open ceremony over there. So
So
it
let's
was
let's
quite
talk
an
about that a
experience.
little bit. Let's talk about that a little bit. Did you see
Okay.
who are some of the well-known athletes that you saw while you were there in the Olympic Village?
Um, so me and a couple of other, I think it was two other people from Barbados and Bahamas. We actually snuck down to center court for a USA basketball game. I think that year, Kobe, who else? I think was Melo on that team. I think Melo was on that team. It was, yeah, the big stars around who played in USA for 2004. So that was good.
Now, were you able to get any autographs, any handshakes, anything like that from? It's just amazing to be around those type of athletes. Those are the best athletes in the world when it comes
Correct.
to the Olympics. So it's an experience I can't imagine.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any signatures or anything like that, but they allowed us to go to their Olympic village where the Olympians stayed. and it was amazing. At that time, like they had their own McDonald's and it was free. So you could have ordered anything you wanted at the McDonald's. And I was like, whew, I want to stay here next time, you know. So
Now, can you remember any of the competitors that you competed against at the tennis level? Well, I mean, in tennis at a higher level.
um well, during my generation coming up, uh as I said, it was mainly Puerto Ricans, but on the local level, uh I could name Jendai Richards. Definitely, that was a battle growing up. Playing against her, it was some really good matches. Um, we had a couple. I mainly kind of practiced with the guys
Right.
growing up, but you know what got me really into tennis was when I don't even know Dr. Nicole Sims.
Hmm.
Like I looked like she was my childhood, my VI childhood, you know, protege growing up. So I wanted to be just like her because she went off to college and played 4 years for tennis. And we ended up playing in a couple tournaments as adults and winning doubles tournaments. So I really looked up to her when coming about. But yeah, we have a couple local athletes that did compete, but I say majority of it was in Puerto Rico when we had to travel.
You know the crazy part about your story just now about Nicole Sim? It's sometimes we don't understand the impact we can have on athletes that are younger than us that just watch us play.
Hmm.
You never know how inspired they can be by you or your story. So that's another reason that we love to do between the lines. So you can inspire somebody else to be great or somebody else to succeed in what they like to do. So most of us
Correct.
in the Virginians, we get to see older athletes and we want to be like them. That inspires us from the beginning to take that step forward. And then you get your roses when you tell that person that, you know, like I wanted to be like you when I grow up. And then that was what motivated you to get better. So that's something we still
Correct.
want to
I
go.
don't think I've ever verbally told her, but if she's watching this, then like she knows now.
Right.
That she was my idol like growing up. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's talk about where did your love of sports really come from?
Well, my mom introduced me to tennis at the age of 4 because she played tennis as well. So I told her I wanted to learn because, you know, she would carry me along to the tennis courts every day and I'm just there watching. I was like, okay, well, probably it's time for me to pick up a racket and start. So I started taking lessons with a coach, Miss Cooper, and from then I just blossomed and went with it. Played in my first tournament at 10 in Puerto Rico and won. So after that, I was like, okay, this could be a future career. So I stuck with it. Mhm. So that was a love for tennis. Volleyball at the beginning, I had a love-hate relationship, um, especially when I went to high school because my coach at high school, Mr. Charlie Davis, he took me straight into varsity. And, you know, I basically ride bench my whole freshman year because I just had to train and train and train and get it right until I reached my 10th grade year and I got to start. And, you know, who wouldn't want to jump and smack a ball against someone and they can't cross, you know, under the net?
Right.
So it was just the feeling. It was just the team feeling, being with a team. And yeah, I love that.
Now, did you receive any outstanding awards while you were in high school?
Yeah, in tennis and volleyball or just, or either, I mean, either
Either or.
sport.
You can
Yeah,
practice
I
too.
actually did. Back then, the Daily News had like Athlete of the Week.
Mhm.
Um, I got Athlete of the Week a good couple times, and then my 12th grade year, I actually got Athlete of the Year.
Wow.
So yeah, that was good with I say again tennis, you
Mhm.
know, and because around my 11th or 12th grade year, that's when you kind of have to choose which sport that you want to pursue in terms of getting notice from the coaches, the college coaches. And volleyball was, at the top, but tennis just, I just had to go with tennis because I've been playing it the longest, and I needed to experience it in college. So yeah, definitely had a good couple of awards during my high school years. Moving on for both tennis and volleyball.
So let's jump right into your collegiate years then. Where did
Okay.
you attend school?
My first year, I attended University of Houston. I played tennis. And fun fact, a week before I got back from Greece to head to college, the coach that recruited me actually took a job in Florida. So I was like, whoa. So the assistant coach actually stepped up to be head coach. And if I'm being totally real with the audience, it wasn't my best year. Like I said, we had the fall season. Tennis is usually spring, so the fall we usually train a little more. And in December, I had my surgery. And when I came back in January, I went straight to playing. I just want to let athletes know, when you have surgery, please, please do physical therapy. Do not let anyone, force you back on the court, back on the field before you're ready.
Correct.
And that's what happened to me with my knee. Like, my knee was not able to heal to its fullest, and I got back on the court. And it was a downhill for me, honestly. It was. And the head coach actually released me.
Wow.
And it just reached a point where I was like, I don't want to play tennis anymore. That's how low I got. And then that summer, actually, Mr. Charlie Davis, my coach, got in contact with a JUCO coach in Florida, in Palm Beach. And that's where I started my volleyball career. I ended up going to Palm Beach Community College, which is actually Palm Beach State College now, because they offer 4-year degrees. And those were the best 2 years of my volleyball career moving forward. So I'm very happy I made that switch to volleyball in college.
We want to just talk about the recruitment process from here, basically getting recruited from the here in the Virgin Islands to
Yeah.
go to a D1 school. How did that come about for you?
Well, at that time, that's when you needed the actual video camera, and you had to do taping of you practicing. Couldn't get much taping during matches, so majority of my recruiting tape came from drills and practices with my coach, and I just had to ship them out. I had to make copies, and I shipped them out to colleges that were interested in. And yeah, that's how my recruiting process came about for tennis.
No, that is a great, great story for the time that we're living in right now. Where here in the Virgin Islands, we're not playing sports, so now we can see where sending videos of you training can get you somewhere. We have a living proof right in front of us here. A lot of kids are worried about how they can't get their tape sent out because they're not competing against anybody. So Miss Sacha Gumbs just told us just now that we can practice and train on your own, use those same videos, and she used that to get to a D1 school. So that's definitely something.
Yeah, I remember getting that video done. And actually, it was Mr. Corbett who did my video for me, who did my recruiting tip for me. And as I said, and also reaching out to college coaches, because that's what I did, especially during the summers when I know which tournaments I was attending. I would let them know, like I would email them, like, I'm going to be at this national tournament. So I had to do a lot of work myself as well.
Right.
And we can't, as athletes, we can't just sit back and think, okay, I did a tape, I sent it off, that's it. No, you have to keep on like emailing, checking up, and letting them know, because that lets them know that you're interested, like you want to come to your school, like I want to be a part of your team. So that's what and my high school counselor actually helped with that us as athletes, we had to reach out. Yeah.
So now, you talked about that really, really low moment for you at the
Mhm.
University of Houston. What
Mhm.
were some of the things or some of the people that helped you get through that rough time and rise again to play another sport?
Well, I say when you experience your first surgery, I hope that no athlete has to experience that, but that's
It's real.
a reality when it comes to playing sports. Um, at that time, as I said, I started to lose my drive to playing with tennis, and I basically thought my career was done because I was like, okay, my knees messed up. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I have to get back to school because you're a student athlete, So even if I had to, just be a student, it would have been okay. But I still need that void fulfilled. And being able to be successful in two sports, I was able to be successful in the next sport, volleyball, where, I was given that opportunity, like, hey, do you want to play volleyball? And I was like, okay, let's give this a try. And when I heard that and everything was a go in terms of getting a scholarship, going to the community college, I was like, that's when, you know, everything seemed well and positive moving forward again for me. So I kind of had to get myself out of that rut,
Right.
and it's not easy mentally, but once you have that drive and you know what you want to do, then you have to keep on pushing. Definitely.
And I think that's a big thing with college athletes,
Mhm.
people in general. Honestly, you're gonna have that moment in time where you feel like it's all over. I don't want
Mhm.
to do this. I can't make it through it. And I feel like once you can build up your confidence, your strength to get through that one
Correct.
moment in your life, you'll be fine after that. So it's great that you were able
Exactly.
to push through that struggle and again prevail into something else that
And
led
I
to a pretty successful career for you.
correct. And I also want to let athletes know that do not write off going to a community college.
Hmm.
I learned so much in my 2 years at my community college, and that landed me a D2 scholarship at Florida Tech, where I moved on um, to finish up my 2 years in volleyball and my engineering degree over there. So it prepared me, to reach on that level. And so I just want athletes to know, like, hey, it's not all about going to the top D1, top D2, because guess what? You have athletes are on your level or even better, and you're competing for a spot. You have like 7 people competing for the same spot, and you don't want to be bench for 4 years, and you didn't have the full experience of being able to play. So I just want the young athletes to know it's okay to look at a community college.
Definitely.
you know, build up your skills mentally and physically. And, college coaches do look at JUCO players as well. And we've
Right.
had very successful players come from JUCO to D1, D2, and now playing professionally, internationally. Yeah.
And that's a big thing there. A lot of kids don't understand that you have some of the best players in college sports that play JUCO as well.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're not getting the grades they needed to in high school. Sometimes it's just the fact that they didn't get enough playing time. Sometimes
Correct.
starting a sport. So there are a lot of talented players at the JUCO level, and they
Hmm.
actually if you're a good enough player in any sport, the professional rankings are going to find you. Well,
Correct. You're
for
right.
most sports at least, they're going to
Mhm.
find you. They're going to find a way to get you to a well. You're going to find a way to get to a D1 school, and they're going to find a
Mhm.
way to get you into whichever league that you would want to go into. D1, D2 leagues. I mean, D1, D2 schools. It doesn't make a difference. You'll make it
Correct.
where you are talented enough. So you don't have to worry about going
Exactly.
necessarily to D1 schools and hurting your pockets or not playing as you would say. Right, so
Mhm.
that's something big that we need to get them to
And it
understand.
builds your confidence. It definitely builds your confidence. And the JUCO school that I went to, Palm Beach State College, was a top JUCO team. So we used to, scrimmage D2 top D2s and beat them like it was nothing. So I don't want them to deter away from, having that there. Like, hey, I don't want to start off community college because that's a low level no.
Right. Definitely something that you can do and a path that some people do take and they still make it to the top.
Yes.
Now, how did college positively impact you while you were there?
Well, I could say my last 2 years playing at Florida International, Florida Tech. Let me just say it that way. And I was going into my fifth year, um, being an engineering student because I already completed my 2 years, so I had one more year to complete. And actually, Florida Tech is where I started my coaching. I was introduced to coaching. I became an interim college coach because the previous coach actually got in some trouble and suspended. So he actually, recommended me to take over for that season. And when I did, oh man, I was like, this is a calling for me. Like I loved it.
Now, I heard you mention doing engineering. How did you balance being a student athlete and doing engineering at the same time? That is the most complicated thing I've ever seen.
Let's just say very long nights, especially on the road where like you're on the bus doing homework,
Yep.
and then knowing that when you come back, you reach in 1 o'clock in the morning and you have an 8 o'clock test. It really teaches you how to balance your education and also going to practice, because when you look at it, it's a job. When you're in a scholarship, you're basically, on a job. So you need to perform well in the classroom and on the court, because there's no in between or either or when you're a student athlete. So it was a very difficult, especially the last 2 years, because that's when you really get into your engineering courses and stuff. And let's just say I couldn't procrastinate anymore moving forward. So yeah, it definitely humbled me and allowed me to, hey, if I want to coach, I have to be able to get my work done, be successful in a classroom, and being able to show up and coach for these um, athletes as well. Yeah.
So we heard you mention your first entrance into coaching, but did you know before that that you had a chance to work in the sports industry without being a player?
No, and not even during my tennis career. It was just it was just me. I never thought about coaching. I was like, I can't do this because going through all these drills and everything with my coach, I'm like, yeah, that's too much work. I want to do it. Let me just play,
Right.
So, but once I got a taste of it in terms of volleyball and just seeing like the interaction and the feedback you get from your for your athletes, and I say like that year when I coach, a couple of players were actually the same age as me, and just interacting with them and being able to relate And that's the thing about between players and coaches is that once you show respect, they give the respect, and you have to listen to your athletes.
Right.
You don't want to, overpower them and it's like, no, do this, do that, do this. No, you have to take the time to listen because you have different individuals and personalities on the court, and you have to learn each one of them.
Definitely.
And you have to take the time. And coaching has taught me patience. Definitely patience.
All right, so Sasha, we're actually going to take a break right now to hear some from our some announcements from our sponsors. We'll be
Okay.
right back with more Between the Lines presented to you by Livewire Sports.
I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa, effort, I'm built for it, really. Whoa, whoa, effort, I'm built for it, really.
And we are back with more Between the Lines presented to you by Livewire Sports. Sasha, you still here with us? All right. I know you wouldn't go anywhere. Just had to make sure anyways, though. Now, what is your current career?
Current career, I'm a project engineer at the Department of Public Works. So I work in the Office of Highway Engineering. So I deal with managing some of the road projects that you see out there currently.
All right, so now how did you get into this field? Was this a part of where your degree was leading you?
Yeah, so I graduated with a civil engineering degree, and I always wanted to come back home, definitely. And I applied. I continue to apply. I never gave up. So I applied for a couple of years actually at Public Works until, I got that break to get an interview 4 years ago, and I've been loving it ever since. Definitely a new career going into the construction field. So yeah.
How long did you say you were in this field?
At Public Works,
Yes.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
It's almost another college term right there.
I know. I know. But I'm enjoying it. I could actually say I do enjoy it. Yeah. Because it's both in office and the field. So I'm not behind the desk all the time. I'm outside as well.
Now, what made you choose this path of engineering as a child growing up?
Actually, I didn't. I was gonna go into accounting first, and then I changed my mind in 12th grade, and I wanted to actually do electrical engineering. And I must say, my first year, when I took that first course, I think it was a circuit course, I was like, no, this is this isn't for me. So I went to my counselor. I was like, can you switch me to civil engineering? And from since then, I just continued with it.
Yeah, I would have switched from day one too. I would have switched out to engineering. No
It's
civil.
crazy because when one course like literally takes you back and make you question yourself, like, do I really want to do this? And the answer was no. So I went and switched, and luckily I was able to, because I was still early in my years. So yeah.
A lot of my friends in college have been engineers, and I used to watch them and get headaches for them watching them do their work. So,
Oh, you live in the engineering building. You have
Definitely.
access. They give you access 24 hours once you have your key card, and you live in there 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
They know how long it takes to be invested into engineering, so they have to leave those buildings open for you guys.
Correct.
All right, let's jump in a little bit to a little bit of volleyball here.
Okay.
Are you coaching right now currently?
Well, with COVID, obviously we didn't have a season this year, but have been coaching. Um, I started out in the Virgin Islands in terms of my coaching career. 2011, I became an assistant coach actually at my alma mater, Charlotte Amali. And then I transitioned to Antilles, where I assisted coach it for a couple of years. And then I took over as head coach in 2016 with the boys, because the head coach at that time got deployed. So from since then, I've just been coaching the Antilles varsity boys. So, yeah.
So you said you've been coaching since 2016, correct?
Actually, 2011.
2011. Wow.
Yeah, because I actually coached the female junior national team as well, VI national team as well, for about 3 years. Yes.
Now you
And I
coach.
also, I coach them.
Now, how successful has your programs been for the last couple of years?
At Antilles?
Yes.
Well, the past 3 years, we actually were AIA champions. Well, 2016, 2018, 2019, we were AIA champions. Yes. So you definitely see the progress, especially knowing that public schools are usually dominant in these sports, volleyball, basketball, any sport. So to build a program and have athletes be consistent coming out every year to, improve their game, it was, very heartwarming to see finally seeing the success at the school with my athletes. And I've had athletes who were surfers, soccer players, golfers, and they love the sport of volleyball.
Were you able to assist any of your players in reaching the next level through a volleyball scholarship?
That part, I did have about 1 or 2 players, especially from 2017, 2018, that actually moved on and played on the college level. Yes, they did.
Now, the subject that nobody likes to talk about because it's in our ears all the time, COVID.
Okay.
How did COVID impact your season last year and this year?
Well, it was mainly last year we played. Last year we definitely played, and we were AIA champions last year. So last year, though, basically we didn't get affected from COVID, but this year no season at all. Yes, you're right, Shane. IA. Yes, correcting myself is IAA. And this year, unfortunately, we weren't able to have a season at all. So I was kind of banking because I had two seniors. I wanted, to be captain, co-captain. I was looking forward for them, showcasing their talent. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
So with your season being canceled this year,
Mhm.
the Department of Education and Sports Park and Recreation put on sports in the bubble. What was your
Mhm.
views on that for your volleyball players to get to go there and get some film and stuff for them to go on to college?
Actually, the sports in a bubble, I was not aware of it until I actually logged into Facebook and saw some posts. So I'm not too sure um, if any athletes from my team are on in the sports in a bubble. So I'm not too familiar with what's going on in that area.
Now, as a coach, you have had great moments, you have had bad moments. Can you
Hmm.
tell us some of your greatest moments as a coach?
Greatest moment as a coach. Um, I could say winning at the Antilles tournament with my varsity boys in 2018. 2018 definitely had a strong six, and they just came out because I had them from since 2016, and to see them grow and become these players that I know they could have moved on to the college level. And I think that year we went, I think it was like 10-0, 11-0. We went that year. So we actually rewarded those guys to play in a tournament in Orlando where they get to experience another level of high school play. So that year was very, very successful for me.
Now, taking a U-turn here back to the national team. Did you play on the national team as a player and still get to coach in another
Yes,
year?
yes, I did. I played with the national team from since 2009. Um, Became captain in 2010. So I was captain for a couple years for the female national team. Yes.
Now, what year did you begin to coach the junior national team?
That year, 2012. And my girls actually made it to the finals against Trinidad. Um, it was such an exciting team, and it was a new experience. Because there's a different level between coaching junior players and also at a higher level college players, and coaching in terms of international play. So I was very proud of them for making the finals. And Trinidad, one of the top Caribbean volleyball teams, and to be able to play on that level was really good.
Do you have any significant national team accolades that you can talk about?
I've had best receiver. I've had one of those. I think I had two more. I'll have to go back to my trophy collection and see um, what other accolades I had. But
Well, that
yeah,
trophy collection sounds like it might be pretty big because you have volleyball and tennis there.
I do have volleyball and tennis. Yes, I do. I do. A lot of my trophies actually come from tennis
Hmm.
and volleyball. I started to collect volleyball from high school days. Moving on forward.
So with volleyball being a sport that we do play here in the Virgin, a lot of other places don't play volleyball, especially as well as we do here. Where
Mhm.
do you think volleyball ranks among the sports here in the Virgin Islands?
Ooh, um, On an international level, uh, on an international level, I could definitely say that, traveling to the tournaments and actually coming in second, first place, like a lot of these islands tend to write us off because, they practically, have their set team and they practice all year round. Whereas our team are mainly based from college players, so we kind of have to wait till they come home during the summer and then start practicing. So we kind of were like off the map for a while, but we definitely made our name for ourselves during the time I was playing. And we even made it to Canada where we played. We were able to play top level teams.
Now, with volleyball being somewhat in the middle of the pack of sports here, what can we do to propel volleyball into the number one sports here in the Virgin Islands?
Ooh. Definitely, I would say we need more programs, need more volleyball programs. And we have to start from young, like introduce them from young, and to see if they will show interest. Because usually kids, they want to play everything. So once you introduce it to them and you keep it interesting and fun for them, they will continue. And we actually need more coaches, more qualified coaches from the elementary level going through junior high and high school. Because when you have those prospects coming up, you want them to continue progressing in that sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we need more programs and possibly invest in athletes in terms of going away to camps. I highly suggest that because during my tennis career, I was able to go to camp every year.
Right.
I had that opportunity. So sometimes we have to make sacrifices as coaches and parents, like, hey, send them to this camp. Let's continue with it. We have to find a way to keep them interested and motivated.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so Sacha, you have survived our interview portion of the show. You look a little bit relieved and happy about that, so you definitely did a really good job.
I'm enjoying myself, so that's good.
So we're definitely gonna move on to now our interactive segment. This is the fun part. This is fun for usually only me. Sometimes it gets to, but it's interactive. We get you to free up a little bit and have a little bit of fun. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
All right, so you actually have a brand new segment that we have not done before. So you're the first person to do it.
Okay.
It's all in the spirit of the holidays. All in the spirit of the holidays. So the game is actually called Every Day is a Holiday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a holiday for you, and you're going to do the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
And we might have a little bit of discussion because I'm sure some of these answers might not be what we're thinking. All right, so let's start with this one. New Year's.
Concert.
Why concert?
Because sometimes they actually held concerts down here for New Year's to bring in the New Year. So that was the first thing that came and like celebrate concert going into the New Year.
I was thinking fireworks or something like that. But
I love music, so first thing was concert.
I know, so that's a perfect reason for choosing that.
Mm.
Right, so this next one here is pretty interesting.
Okay.
Election day.
Say that again. Sorry.
Election day.
We going into the politics.
No, we're gonna skip that one. All right. VI Puerto Rico Friendship Day.
Oh wow. Community. Yes.
Definitely. We have a lot of Puerto Ricans that live here, as well as a lot of people from here in the Virgin Islands who live in Puerto Rico as well. So it's definitely a community environment, and the meaning behind VI Puerto Rico Friendship Day is something big. So I definitely love to celebrate VI Puerto Rico Friendship Day all the time.
Yes.
Emancipation Day.
Emancipation Day. We're going with the freedom.
Hey, you can't go wrong with that.
Freedom.
All about the freedom. That's an important day in history.
Even that one word, that's freedom. Yes.
That's one day we will never forget in these Virgin Islands for sure.
Yes.
So freedom is definitely the word that you need for Emancipation Day. 4th of July.
4th of July. St. John Carnival. I miss it.
I love
it.
answers. Because trust me, the first thing you're thinking about, 4th of July, yeah, that's St. John Carnival for sure. Fireworks.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
I'm pretty sure other people think like, yeah, man, I miss St. Carnival too.
St. Patrick's Day.
Lucky Charm.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky
Green
Charm.
everywhere. I love to see the St. Patrick's Day parade over in St. Croix. It's definitely.
I've never experienced it.
I've never experienced it, but to see just all the green that's everywhere and
Correct.
how grateful they are as far as the holiday is concerned is definitely great. So let me see. This one isn't really a holiday, but we're gonna slide it in here anyways. Valentine's Day.
It's all about love, give and receive.
Love, giving and receiving. All right. So every 14th day of the second month, love, give and receive. Right.
But you should do that every day.
There we go.
You
See?
should. Yes.
Right on the money. Labor Day.
Volleyball. And I say that because the VI usually hosts a Labor Day tournament for volleyball down here. And we haven't been able to host one this year because of COVID. So that's why I said volleyball.
Now, Labor Day is something that's always good to me because it either comes before my birthday, after my birthday, some way that I can celebrate my birthday on Labor Day or after. So I love Labor Day.
Celebrate the whole month. That's how. Celebrate the whole month.
I didn't think about that. But when your birthday is the 3rd of the month and you have to celebrate the whole month, that's a lot of days to celebrate.
Hey, you have the other months to recuperate and catch yourself.
All right, let me see what else we have here. Transfer Day.
Transfer Day. That's an interesting one. Dealing with the Danish. Yeah. Yeah. The Danes. Danes to US.
That's a description of it. So I'll take that definitely for Transfer Day. This one is probably going to be pretty easy, but I'll give it to you anyways. Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
I knew you were ready.
I'm going straight to the food. Yeah. Who else?
Yeah, another answer besides turkey.
No, but honestly, we really have to be thankful and grateful for what we have and at this moment, and just being able to mentally keep ourselves in check and reset and refocus every single time, because it's hasn't been an easy year at all. So
this is going to be a special Thanksgiving, I think, for a lot of people. You won't see as many people in the family atmosphere, changing up households this year. So it's definitely going to be something special when it's in-house in your own living space and stuff like that. So, and
correct. People need that comfort. They need that comfort. So we need that interaction.
Definitely. Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. That one I could say fireworks. If you want me to put fireworks.
Listen, fireworks on Memorial Day and 4th of July go from sun up till 2 days after. Like 2 days after, you're still hearing fireworks all over the place. It's crazy. All right. Again, this one isn't a holiday. Well, it's a holiday to me. To a lot of people. Carnival.
Carnival. Woo. Juve party route.
I thought you were going to mention it too, because everybody, when Carnival time comes, the air will smell different. When Carnival is approaching, the air smells different. The atmosphere feels different. Once you see the flags go up, Carnival time is here.
Everything, your mood change. You just relax and just let loose. Yeah, that's your time. That's your time to have fun and not worry about any outside.
At all. And our last, but very, very, very much not so least, Christmas.
Christmas. Like you said with Christmas. Family.
Family.
Yes. Family.
So now with these two holidays approaching, we have
Mhm.
Thanksgiving on Thursday and Christmas in about a month. Which one
Mhm.
do you prefer?
I would actually prefer Christmas.
Now,
Yes.
because you said Christmas, you on a bonus question. And this is a very important question.
Okay.
You might be judged for your answer.
Oh.
When does the Christmas tree go up?
Um. I would say probably beginning of December. But then you're looking at someone who had a Christmas tree up for like almost a year and a half.
See, there we go. There's the judging part.
So I was very enlightened by my Christmas tree, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna stay up for a while."
I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's very decorative, you know. It makes
Thank
the room
you.
look nice. So
Thank you.
I mean, it's a tree. We don't take down the trees from outside regularly. See, why you should take down the Christmas tree, right?
It could brighten up your day if you had a rough day.
Definitely, definitely. And you said it comes down a year and a half later, right?
It came down a year and a half later because all the lights blew out. So
So that means Christmas of one year it was up, and the next Christmas it was still there.
it was still there. Yeah, it was still there. I am not ashamed to say that it was still there.
All right, so we know whenever we're having Christmas, we come to your house because you're always in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're
All
more than
right.
welcome.
So you have survived our interactive segment with some very good and very interesting answers. I love those answers. But now we have another special segment here for you.
Okay.
This is my favorite by far.
Okay.
Might be a little bit surprising to you, but it's okay. We love surprises.
Okay.
So we have some pictures here that we want you to go through and just tell us what was happening at that moment or what does this picture make you think of.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. Let's load up the first picture and let's see what we have here.
Whoa.
That's the
Y'all
reaction
been
we want.
good for that picture.
That is the reaction we want right there.
Woo. Man. Oh man. What year? I think that was 2016, I think. I think that was my last year playing with the VI team. You know, it's funny that like that was an interesting year because in the semifinals before we started, I didn't realize I was actually having a panic attack
Wow.
before the game started. Yes, a lot of people did not know that, but we won that game. I think that game was against Martinique. Yeah, I think it was against Martinique.
All right, so let's move on to the next picture we have here.
Mm-hmm. Ah, my Florida Tech days. Yes, that's when I just transferred to Florida Tech. Ah, very interesting year.
Now, who is this teammate that you have here next to you?
Her name is Janelle. She was a middle player as well. That year, both of us played middle. So yeah, we definitely dominated in the middle for that year.
All right, let's move on to the next picture that we have here loaded.
Okay. Ah, yes. That was the year. I think that was the year we came in first or second to move on to the next round. Yeah, that was a good game.
Now, did we get a point from this or did we not get a point from this? You got to tell
We
me.
got a point. We got a point from that. I remember that. Yeah.
All right. That's all we need. As long as we get in these pictures, because we don't want putting pictures up here where you're not getting points.
Oh no,
That's
we
what we do.
definitely got a point. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next picture.
Okay. Yes, this was the last tournament we played in with Brittany. Um, this was the last. Yeah, this was the last Labor Day tournament. I think. Yes.
So 2019.
2019. Yeah, and we won. I love it.
Now, can you identify the rest of your teammates in here just to get them a little bit of a shout out?
Next to me is Diamond. Then you have Miriam. Miriam is MVP for that tournament. She definitely beast out on that tournament. Then you have Michael, and you have Blakely and Brittany. Definitely, Brittany coached us on that last on that championship game because unfortunately we lost a great coach, Mike Richardson.
Mhm.
So it's basically dedicated to him. Yeah. So, but
Definitely,
yeah,
want to,
for sure.
we definitely want to give a shout out to the Richardson family. He
Yes.
coached his granddaughter and his grandson, so definitely that was a sad time for us as well.
Definitely.
All
Definitely.
right, let's move on to the next picture. See what you have here.
I was coaching my junior female national team.
Now,
Yeah,
where?
that was it. That's in St. Croix, yes.
Now, how did we do in this tournament?
That one, I think that's when we came in second. Yeah, I think we came in second in that tournament. Yes.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking, is this the last picture? Do we have one more here? I actually think that was the last picture just
That was the
now.
last one.
All right, so you made it through that. How was that seeing some old pictures of yourself just pop up when you
Oh
never?
man, the memories. I miss it. I honestly I do miss playing competitively, on the international level. But I I can honestly say I love coaching more now than playing at this moment.
All right, so we're actually going to open up our live stream right here to any viewers that would like to ask Sasha any questions. You can send them right in your Facebook box that you have there, your message box, and we'll be able to relay those questions to Sasha. But Sasha, while you're here, I know you have a lot of teammates, a lot of friends, a lot of family members, coaches, organizations that you have been a part of. Can you give a
Mhm.
shout out to some? Because I know you're gonna forget some, but you have to put that
Right.
disclaimer out there first, so they don't chew your head off after this interview.
True. So I definitely, if I'm starting with tennis, I definitely want to give a shout out to Miss Cooper, Miss Sims, Mr. Walters, and overall Patrick Thomas. He definitely, helped me with my game, to progress and move forward in it. On the volleyball side, definitely Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis definitely impacted not just my sports life, but you know, off the court life. And I am so grateful to be able to, have him as a coach growing up as well. I want to give a shout out to Sky High, Janelle Searle, and I founded Sky High also with Kim Oscar. I'm surprised you didn't bring up a picture with the Sky High girls if you didn't find it during Facebook. But that's a club we co-founded together, and the teams were able to travel to Orlando to compete, which was exciting for the girls. And we had a boys team that traveled in 2017 as well. So that was really good.
All right,
Yeah.
so we do have some questions here from the viewers. One of the questions that we have is, when is volleyball season?
When is for it's during fall season, so it usually starts in September, going throughout November.
And what leagues are available for what particular age?
Leagues after the volleyball season.
No, so any leagues that are available for kids to get that beginner
Or to
development.
continue with it. Um, Back then when I played, we after we played during our fall season, we also had winter league, which went from January to about just before Carnival, and then we had summer league as well, so going through the summer, and that involved co-ed teams as well. Unfortunately, we don't have those leagues at this moment, but hopefully we could, you know, get back into it and bring back those leagues, because those leagues really help develop our athlete, not playing outside of their peers and experiencing playing with more experienced athletes as well. So,
All right, so we have another question from the viewers here. Who has been a major inspiration to you?
for tennis or for volleyball?
I think altogether in life it might be, or either sport.
For either sport, if I'm gonna go professionally for tennis, it's actually Venus Williams.
Wow.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to see her play in the U.S. Open twice, and just her mannerisms, how her style of play, and just off the court, she's just so humble, and I just love that about her. Going up. Inspiration locally, as I said from the beginning with tennis, Dr. Nicole Sims, definitely. And for volleyball, this might come as a surprise to you, because this I played with her. It's actually Janelle Saru. We definitely feed off each other when we played on the same team, and she inspired me to get better, because her drive on that court is
Unmatched.
when she's on, she is on, and I'm like, when you feeding off of that, like when she gets a kill, you should see the passionate rejoice afterwards. If you ever get a chance to see that, and that's dope. Yeah.
All right, your favorite place that sports has taken you?
Favorite place that my sports has taken me. For volleyball, I really enjoyed going to Canada. That was just the atmosphere, how the hospitality was like, and just being able to play the national Canadian team was amazing. So for volleyball, that was it. For tennis, it was actually California.
Wow.
Because it was my first big national tournament in California, and I loved it.
So California beats out Greece.
The thing is, with Greece, I didn't play. That was for experience.
Right.
Yeah, that was for experience, and to get to interact with other athletes around the world, from India, um, Europe, like it was just, and other Caribbean athletes as well, Caribbean island athletes. So, but I have to go with California for tennis.
So we have another question here from the viewers. Do
Okay.
you feel the footwork you learned from tennis translated over to volleyball and vice versa?
It did. In terms of the mechanics, especially serving came easy for me going from tennis to volleyball, and also the swing. The jumping, I had to work on that, because tennis, you don't jump, you just sprint. And tennis also helped me, in terms of reaction on the volleyball court. Because tennis, everything goes fast. So you only have like a second to think where I'm going to place that ball. So with volleyball, like it helped me in volleyball to read quicker and react quicker, especially knowing that I wasn't the fastest. So I had to learn how to read a player's arm swing and form and know where they're going in advance.
All right, so Sacha, that will be the end of our questions for tonight. However, I want you to give a message to the young athletes right now that are having a hard time inspiring themselves to keep working on their craft during this this time of COVID.
Yeah, for the VI athletes, I said this has been the most challenging year for you guys, but I don't want you to give up. keep that drive, keep pushing, because you will get that scholarship. You will be able to showcase your talent, reaching on that next level. And when you get on that next level, continue to push yourself. That's one thing. You hit some bumps in the road, but continue to push yourself. Do not give up. That's one. Do not give up. Keep on going. So,
All right, thank
I
you.
wish the best of luck to all the athletes, all the seniors that thriving and trying to get these scholarships. And I say, be proactive. Be proactive. Reach out to that coach. Email that coach. Keep on going. Do not give up, because you want to reach your goal. So yeah.
All right, so Sacha, we want to thank you so much for coming on to Between the Lines today, taking some time out of your busy schedule and staying at work a little bit longer for us here tonight.
No
We
problem.
want to thank you for your story, your motivation, you working with kids all together. We just want to thank you for that, and we wish you the best on your career in coaching
Thank
and
you.
helping the kids in the community here in the Virgin Islands.
Thank you. And keep up the good work, I must say.
Thank you very much from Livewire Sports. All right, Livewire fans, we will be back next week with another episode of Between the Lines presented to you by Livewire Sports. We want to give a shout out tonight to Mr. Leo Sibley, also known as the Third, for his introduction track. It is called Born Ready. It is on all streaming platforms. You can download that and support your own right here from the Virgin Islands. Also, we want to give a shout out to our visual coordinator, Mr. Shane O'Neill, our executive producer, Lorena Robinson, our sponsors, Sweet Surrender VI, Dreamland Clothing, and Coach J from Fabulous Nutrition. Also, if you noticed our introduction video, it was done by Brilliant Design. So any video or photography work that you need done, please check out Brilliant Designs as we show our introduction as we're leaving here tonight. Thank you again, and thank you again for joining our show tonight, and have a good night.
I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Effort, I'm built for born ready. Whoa, whoa. Effort, I'm built for born ready.